Hey guys, it's me, Niley.
And me, Nari. Today we're starting a new series on our channel called What a Book Wednesday. And what that is we'll be reading books to you guys every Wednesday. Some of them will include our favorites.
Today's book is Princess and the Peas by Rachel Himes. This book is special because the author is my best friend's sister.
Hope you enjoy.
Ma Sally was the best cook in Charleston County, South Carolina. Everybody knew it, especially Ma Sally. When she fixed supper, the tables groaned under crocks of collard greens, piles of sweet potatoes, and heaps of hot rolls. But Ma Sally was the most famous for her black-eyed peas. When she brought them to the Sunday evening potluck at First Baptist, folks lined up just to get a taste.
Ma Sally had a son, John, who was the kindest, most thoughtful man you could hope to meet. When John passed the corner restaurant on his way home after coaching the neighborhood baseball team, Miss Harriet would run to meet him with something from the kitchen. On Sundays, Miss Hannah sat in the front row of the church choir so she could see John in the first pew, and Miss Hattie, the town librarian, made sure John's book request was always ready for him.
One morning, John sat down to a huge breakfast Ma Sally had cooked for him. Grits with melted cheese, sizzling bacon, eggs over easy, and a stack of pancakes you almost couldn't see over. "Ma," said John, "I think I'd like to get married." Ma Sally frowned. "I ain't sure about these local girls, John. I don't think they'd feed you right. Have you tried Miss Harriet's cornbread? Dry as dust and sour as 3-week-old milk." John nodded thoughtfully, then said, "True, don't no one around here seem to be able to cook like you. But I have to make my own way in life. I think I'd like to get married just the same."
Ma Sally was troubled. She figured it was time for John to raise a family of his own, but she couldn't bear the thought of her only child sitting down to an ill-cooked meal. Anybody who wanted to marry John, she thought, will have to cook as well as me. The next time Ma Sally went into town, she mentioned it to Ma'am Della, the town grocer, a known gossip, that John was looking to get hitched, and any interested ladies, she whispered, should come to her house on Sunday evening.
When Pastor Vernon stopped by the grocery for green tomatoes, Ma'am Della told him. Harriet, shopping nearby, heard Reginald shout to Mr. Mosley over the noise of his barber's clippers that John was going to choose a bride that Sunday evening. And Hannah, hiding under the hair dryers, heard. First grader Flander told her brother that there would be a contest to pick the best lady in town for John. And Hattie, shelving books nearby, heard. And on Saturday afternoon, ancient Mr. Jefferson told even more ancient Miss Grandy the news. And the new girl in town, fresh out of college and sharp as a tack, well, she heard too.
Sunday evening arrived at Ma Sally's place, and one by one, so did Harriet, Hannah, and Hattie. They clustered together on the veranda, anxious as a pack of hens at supper time. "I think I'll be the one to marry John," said Harriet. "Doesn't he stop by the restaurant whenever I'm working there?" "It'll probably be me," said Hannah. "Ain't he always sitting on the first pew at church trying to catch my eye?" Nonsense. I'm sure I'll be the one, said Hattie. You should see the way he smiles at me over the library desk.
A mighty fight was brewing on the front porch when Ma Sally flung open the door. "Come in," she said. She leaned them into the kitchen. "Ladies," said Ma Sally, "if you want a chance at John, you're going to need to cook." "Cook!" whined Harriet. "Cook!" shrieked Hannah. "Cook!" shouted Hattie. "Cook," said Ma Sally. "And not just anything. Y'all are going to cook up a dish of black-eyed peas. Whoever makes the best peas marries my son. It's as simple as that."
And so they cooked. They made a terrible mess. At last, 3 bowls of black-eyed peas sat on the kitchen table. Slowly, Ma Sally tasted each one. She chewed thoughtfully and swallowed. Harriet's peas were too mushy. Hannah's peas were too salty. Hattie's peas tasted like nothing at all.
Ma Sally shook her head. "I'm sorry, ladies. I'm afraid not one of y'all is fit for my son." Harriet pouted. Hannah scolded. Hattie frowned. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. A voice called, "May I come in?"
In walked a capable-looking young lady. "I heard there was some kind of contest happening here," she said in a voice as sweet as molasses. "May I try?" "Who," snapped Hattie, "are you?" "My name," said the girl, "is Princess." "Princess?" asked Hannah. "What sort of name is that?" "It's the name my pa and ma gave me," said the girl simply, "because I'm special." "If you're so special," said Ma Sally, "prove it. Cook them peas."
Everyone crowded around the stove to watch, but Princess paid them no mind. She cooked like she was born to do it. She whirled about the kitchen, slicing, dicing, and stringing. Stirring. Ingredients flew into the pot, one after another, until the peas were simmering away. A delicious smell filled the room. Finally, sweeping the lid off the pot, Princess announced simply, "Peas are done."
Ma Sally dipped a spoon into the pot and took a bite. "These peas," she whispered. Everybody held their breath. "These peas are the best I've ever tasted." John let out a whoop and a holler. Princess smiled. "Thank you," she said. "My mama taught me to cook peas like this, and her mama taught her." "Well," said Ma Sally, "maybe you can teach my John." She hugged Princess so tight, it's a wonder the girl didn't get bruised all over. "How about it?" Ma Sally asked. "You and John are 2 peas in a pod."
Princess frowned. I don't know. I like John well enough, but I've got my own plans. How about this? Dancing Saturday night at the juke joint?" John nodded. His mouth was too full to speak. Princess continued. "And one more thing. I know I'm the best cook there is. But what about you, John? But what can you do, John?" She looked around the kitchen. "Why don't you show me how you scrub the pots and pans?" In the blink of an eye, John was up to his elbows in dishwater. When he finished, John looked at Princess questioningly, and she smiled and nodded. Ma Sally, brushing aside tears of joy, turned to get herself more of those teas, but by that time they were all gone.
And come next spring,
Teslas, and those be wrecking people, getting hacked. Back in my day, we had motors, engines, and gasoline. No Teslas, no nothing. This world has rotten cars, and I deserve a refund. I got this cane here. Oh, sorry, it's over here. I'm sitting down. This cane here from walking in front of a Tesla. In my turn to walk across, hit me right in the leg. Now I deserve money. I'm suing y'all. Get a life.